This league is going to be a league where I think there'll be a bit of parity when we start off, when we get this league off the ground. So there'll be players that have to be able to play under pressure. How's their first touch when they've got a player screaming down on them? And this will be the test for a lot of these young Canadian players, is how they deal in a pressurized situation. I personally like players that are clever away from the ball. Do they understand spacing? Do they understand what it means to own the entire pitch and dominate the field in possession of the ball? Do they understand their responsibility off the ball when defending? So a lot of what I'll be looking at is what they do away from the ball. Edmonton's a hotbed because, I believe that because we have, of course, we have our own academy in Edmonton, which I'm very high on. And we've seen a player like Alphonso Davies come out of Edmonton, so I feel it's actually a part of the country that's been missed, maybe Alberta in general. The nice thing about coming in with a blank slate is that you get to create the team that you vision, and that meets your philosophy. So now I'll be able to find players that suit the way I want to play the game. And certainly for me, a holding midfield player is vital to the way I'm going to play. I want to be able to keep the ball, and to find that position in particular is going to be vital. I like to play a bit of an attacking style brand of football out of a 4-3-3 as a base system. So when I have that, then I'm looking for players that are quick. I'm looking for players that are brave and 1v1 players, and but we'll be a team that goes forward. I think we can look at any small club that plays in the big league, and small clubs are able to exist and stay in the top, in the highest levels when they're up against the big money teams. And how do they accomplish that if maybe their budget's not as high, or maybe the history of the club isn't as great? So how do they accomplish it? How do they find those players that help them stay up in the highest level? Coached with, coached against. Obviously I go way back with Daly, back to the NTC days, and so the banter that we have back and forth has existed now for about 12 years. So it's fantastic, and then Tommy Wielden, Jr. obviously is another one I know very well. I've coached against Tommy. I've been. Tommy's he's been a good friend as well. He's someone that I bounce ideas off of. He's got beautiful hair, so he's my nemesis right off the bat. Stephen Hart was a mentor of mine. He's one that really gave me this passion to become the best coach that I can become, because I was in awe of his knowledge of the game, what he brought to the game when I was just started off his coaching. So it'll be interesting to go up against Stephen. Number one, I always go back to that. I started playing this game when I was 6 years old, and I chose this sport over any other in Canada because I enjoyed playing it. And I enjoy being on the pitch and running around and kicking a ball. And I think I always keep that in mind, even now when I manage, regardless of the level. I think if I still create an environment where players get to come in and play the game, whether that's in a training session or whatever, I try to keep it fun for the players, and I try to keep them always, with the ball at their feet. As far as how I am as a manager, I think the relationship part of the sport's important for a coach. I think regardless of what facet of life you're in, if you're able to have a relationship with those that are working with you or working for you, I think you can create great things and accomplish great things. And maybe I've learned a bit of that from the military, my background there, on what great leadership looks like and what poor leadership looks like. So I try to be that manager that gets to know players personally, outside of just being players for me. I want our teams to play good football. I want our players to enjoy being on the ball. I want our players to create things that they create, and once the players cross that line, it's their game. So I think really that sums up me. I want to be able to score goals, and if we give up 3, we'll score 4, is my attitude as a manager. League champion. I mean, that's number one is league champion. I think we're going to define success in 2 ways. One, obviously victories. I want to be league champion year one. I want to get the CONCACAF berth that that our league will have, and that's important to us as a club. I want to be successful. Secondary, I want to be successful at the Canadian Championships, and I want to compete, and I want to knock off an MLS team. I mean, we've been very close to FC Edmonton 2 years in a row. 1 year against Montreal, I thought was stolen from us. And so I want to be the first CPL team to knock off an MLS side at the Canadian Championship. Then the second part of what I want to do is I want to be able to help develop players and help them get to the highest levels of the game they possibly can. So we have a very good academy. We'll promote some very good young players into our program right in year one. We'll sign 17-year-olds. I've already have 3 in mind that I'm going to sign. And I want to see if we can get these players to as high as they can achieve. I've been at FC Edmonton since January 2012 with the academy, with our first team since that point as well. And so I got to experience some of the highs of the club, but then also some of the lows, and definitely seeing our team go away and leave the NASL, have a year off, was difficult. I was retained by Tom Pfaff along with our general manager, Jay Ball, and to keep everything afloat. And we did that with the academy and with some of Jay's fantastic work behind the scenes as well. And so to be part of the process of rebranding, of coming back with FC Edmonton with a different logo in a brand new league has been, for me, a brilliant experience. I've got to see kind of the inner workings of the league as well, which is again, you're a young Canadian that had goals of becoming a coach at the youth level, and you never thought for a moment when you're 20 and you're coaching your first team in Halifax that you're going to be now the manager of your own club in Canada's professional league in year one.